Hello, friends. My name is Manoj Agrawal. I'm the group editor at Banking Frontiers. We are doing the series Digital Wisdom, where we try to extend wisdom from the traditional footprint into the modern cyberspace, into the cyber footprint. Today, I have with me Mr. Rajaram Manian. He is the Chief Risk Officer at Tyger Capital. Welcome, sir. So, we're going to start initially with your evolution.
Sure.
As a risk professional.
Yes.
Could you share us some of the key learnings you had in your various roles in various organizations that helped you shape and become competent risk leader today, the position that you occupy today?
Yeah.
Some few stories and few learnings.
Absolutely. I'm extremely glad to be here and sharing my views. It's a great opportunity to meet you, and I follow Banking Frontiers. My journey has been very interesting. I have been always fascinated by technology, and especially how the technology has evolved, and I think more from how does it actually help people, in every walk of their life. So I actually started my career as a software engineer.
Wow.
And as a software engineer, you start coding and understanding the syntax and semantics of various programs and various tools. That made me more inquisitive about finance, and I was working with a ERP company which was specialized in financial softwares.
Okay.
I think from understanding the profile of a customer, to the lifestyle of a customer, to taking a judgment on the repayment capability, handling things manually, very conventional way of giving a loan to a customer, to I think using Gen AI and artificial intelligence to create models. I think it's been a great 2.5 decades of journey working with various banks and financial institutions. My career is shaped from a underwriter, to a place where today I can design different models and help organization to, I would say, innovate on risk rather than managing risk. I think that's been my role over a period of years. And I think I think you had asked me that, what is some of the takeaways,
Key
learnings, from my journey is that, being simple, keeping processes simple, keeping things explainable, keeping things upfront, and, maintaining the ethics of what you're supposed to do. And integrity is like a table stake, and I think these are something which will actually scale your personal career as well as the organizational objectives.
Okay. Very interesting. While these are very good concepts,
Yeah.
ethics and integrity
Right.
and explainability,
Right.
would you like to describe some experiences that made it meaningful for you?
Yeah, of course. Obviously, when you start your career, I mean, you are just fixated to your function, right? I mean, for example, if somebody is in a sales, or somebody is in a different function, say operations function or a credit function, he's actually very fixated to what he's currently doing.
Right.
That sometimes creates a silo within an organization. Now, when you grow, and when you know that each element of the function actually impacts, the magnitude of the impact is so high,
Right.
that unless there is a synergy in the, everybody's doing things for achieving the organization objective. It's a dynamic world, right? I mean, everything is evolved. The landscape for the finance has evolved. The landscape of technology has evolved. For example, 90% of the data that has been collected in the last 2 years on Earth, you have the data of that 90% is just collected in the last 2 years.
Yes.
Now, that's the evolution. I mean, if we had asked somebody just 2-3 years back, the amount of the data that was collected was not that significant. So I think while things evolved, the challenges also evolved. The complexity evolved. When I say lending function, earlier you used to have customers just walking in, talking to you,
Right.
We didn't have a bureau report. We didn't have this technology to understand your bank statement.
Mhm.
We didn't have technology to understand, whether you're giving the, genuine documents to the bank.
Okay.
It did
Yes.
not have, things were not there. There were only, if you talk about housing finance, there were hardly about three institutions which used to lend:
Correct.
HDFC, LIC, right? I mean, there are very few organizations
Right,
used to lend. Over a period of time, the competition increased, the intensity of lending increased, and hence, the landscape of frauds, delinquency, those increased because the competitions are obviously high. Everybody wants to get into that business.
Right.
Now, similarly, the process also got complicated because of every organization has to protect their interests, right?
Uh-huh.
Now, people kept on improvising on what they do. So, the main objective was to ensure that I don't do any mistakes in giving a loan to the wrong customer. But I think today it is not like that. I mean, today it's much beyond, identifying a customer whom you don't want to give. I think now it's more of exploring more customers, increasing your funnel. Now, earlier, probably you used to, your rejection ratios were about 5%, 6%.
Mhm.
Today, your rejection ratio might be about 30%, but then you are catering to larger population today. The rural lending, which we used to do earlier, was only for cattle, for farming,
Agree.
all these things. But a farmer taking a loan for buying a car, or a farmer taking a loan for a tractor or for equipment, was very limited. I mean, he had to go to banks, give his documents, give all the proof of ownership.
Correct.
It was complex. But I think today,
It was unheard of literally. Now
unheard.
it's
Yeah, absolutely unheard.
commonplace.
Yes, that's the way it has evolved. So I think everything, evolved together. And, as I always believe, more the challenges, more the opportunities.
Correct. That makes sense.
COVID was a very challenging year, very challenging time, but there were huge opportunities. It brought in innovation. So I think challenges are mother of innovation. Wherever
Challenge is the mother of it. That's a good one.
wherever you had challenges, people want to overcome the challenges. And the biggest shift for a risk manager
Mm-hmm.
is the transformation from a role of mere protecting the interests of the organization, to a role where he gives opportunities and kind of explores opportunity for the organization.
Okay.
Now, the role is not just limited to identifying a risk or to ensure that the risk doesn't happen, but now it's figuring out what are the opportunities for the organization even by taking a risk. So I think you are in the space of exploring opportunities for the organization rather than just finding where the control should be.
So I'm based on what you're saying, I'm visualizing Columbus.
Yes.
Who went from Spain to America in search of India
Yeah.
as a risk manager.
Yes.
Perhaps he was taking that risk,
Yeah.
but not in terms of controlling the risk,
Yeah.
but exploring the opportunities.
Absolutely.
So, are you then saying that today's risk manager is literally an explorer?
Of course, he has to, I wouldn't say he is, I would say he has to be.
Has to be.
That is a role of any risk manager, that he is more of an explorer to find avenues for. Now, let's say, the typical role of a risk manager is to say no to proposals.
X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, say no to, say, let's say, a region.
Okay.
Let's say to a particular product, because you feel that it is, a high risk. But today's risk manager has to find out avenues, even in those market. How do you figure out, the opportunity that you have? Now, it is all about statistics, right? I mean, it's about percentage. It is about what customers can pay you, what customers may not pay you. I was talking about financial inclusion, right? Let's say only 10 to 20% of the MSMEs in the rural India have an access to formal credit.
Correct.
It is difficult to assess a customer who's based out of rural. the property documents and the way our systems are, is to be very difficult. The structure of title ownership, has been complicated in India. I don't think there's any other country as complicated as India in terms of maintaining the
Probably.
title of the customer. But that has also changed across the country. Government has very aggressive in terms of making those accessible, making those foolproof, for the customers as well as for the lenders. So that is a transformation. So it's all about, as I said, exploring. Unless we explore the ways.
Literally, you're becoming like a business development person.
Yeah.
So, what is the difference now between a business developer and a risk manager?
I think the skill set for our business development is completely different. It is about handling people. It is about, creating the structure, creating distribution. It is about creating processes, creating incentive structures for the team, building the P&L. As a risk manager, I'm talking about a CRO. Obviously, a CRO or a CBO or any CXOs have only common objective of doing the right business, right? Increasing the profitability, increasing the
Top line and bottom line.
bottom line, investors, ROE, ROI. I mean, that's the common objective.
Mm-hmm.
But we all have our own skill sets, right? I mean, our own skill sets to enhance that profitability. I mean, the profitability can come by increasing your revenue or managing your expenses. That's a CFO's work,
Right.
right? Managing your risk cost is the CRO's work.
Okay.
And ultimately, it all, kind of contributes to the bottom line and the top line.
How do you see collaboration between the business head and the risk head, or the business team and the risk team?
Yeah.
How has it changed over the last 5-10 years?
Now, as I said, I was talking about explainability, right? I think there is enough knowledge base across the institutions, across the top leadership, and it always follows top down approach. You have the power of conviction. The power of conviction comes from how deep are you in your subject, right? I mean, if I'm talking about let's say data analytics. Now, if you have the depth of knowledge on data analytics, on your understanding of the micro and the macroeconomics, then it will be very easy for you to kind of articulate that to your business team. You will have more capacity to convince them, give them ideas, and
So
also
it's no longer just saying yes or no. It's
is not.
an engagement. It's a dialogue. Both sides explain to each other.
Absolutely right.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So I
The
think
silo walls are breaking down.
it's broken. It's already broken. Or if it is not broken, then that is the only way to survive. Because for an investor now, for you it doesn't matter whether it is a risk manager or as a business manager. You just want your returns, right?
ROI, yeah.
So each one of them has their work to do. They are specialized in what they're doing. But I think from a leadership point of view, it is all about bringing all these forces together.
Sounds good.
I think that's the evolution that I've seen over a period of years.
Perfect. What kind of changes can risk professional expect
Yeah.
to create opportunities for himself or herself,
Right.
and thereby for their organization,
Right.
with the weaponization of everything,
Yes.
with the increasing geopolitics,
Yeah.
with the huge disruptive impact that AI is happening?
Yes.
We're literally moving into a different world.
Yes.
How does that create opportunities for a risk person? And how can a risk person prepare for such opportunities in terms of knowledge and also in terms of thinking? What is your perspective?
Kind of articulate very well the challenges as well as what are the kind of opportunities that a risk manager has. I think first and foremost, every individual has to get away from their legacy comforts.
Oh, okay.
Right? I mean, that's a cultural shift. The way people thought, that has to change. People have to unlearn things. I mean, I think there are a lot of things that to unlearn. Though fundamentals remain same, fundamentals of risk management will be same. Other ethical things and honesty and integrity and the work. I think that's the part of
So you can call those the foundations.
foundation. Yeah, that's the basic need somebody had. So first is that the legacy comforts that we've had. I think we have to move away from that.
Okay.
Second, I think the environment is changing and it's becoming extremely dynamic.
Right.
You will have to be more agile, more flexible, little prepared for a drastic shift in the way we do business.
Okay.
It could be innovation, it could be disruption, whatever you call it. But I think you have to keep on. The goals might change. The goalposts will change. The customer dynamics are changing. So first of all, you have to be agile and absolutely flexible in your approach.
Mm-hmm.
The third thing is you have to upskill yourself. As you said, Gen AI and a lot of this technology advancement. You have to be aware of that. I'm not saying you have to be specialized in that. You don't need to build that. You don't need to code that, but at least you should understand and know the potential and the power of technology that can be of help in your day-to-day activity. And the last is human emotions are still something people have to work on. Ultimately, in the business of finance, in the business that we are in, still human in the loop is considered to be extremely important.
Yes.
And hence, managing people, managing their emotion, managing their aspirations, and building that block which is quite strong.
Okay.
That can be sustainable. Now it's not about risk management, is not about anticipation, but it is to bring sustainability in the organization, right? Anticipation is something you need to have. You need to have your skills to anticipate certain eventualities. What can happen. So I would always say that you need to have the descriptive skill is something you can articulate. You can articulate well. Because you can articulate well because if you know the problems very well, if you understand it very well, that is descriptive.
Right.
And even in your analytics, you say descriptive and prescriptive.
Right.
So prescriptive is something you should be able to give solutions. I think these are some of the things that I think currently you need. And as I said, AI, though AI can not replace judgment, but it can support the judgment. It can enhance the capability to take a judgment. I think that's what technology can do.
Okay. It's easy to say unlearn, but
Yeah.
practically, how does one do it?
I think
And is it individual dependent or is that a systematic way of
so
doing
you
it?
given the answer, no? Practice. You keep practicing and learning because
Okay.
I think if you focus more on new things, you keep repeating things which you want to really learn or which you love learning. Start loving the new technology. Start loving the new normal. Obviously, you will be able to at least convince yourself that that's legacy. These are the new ways of doing business.
Okay.
These are the new enhancement that has come. Probably once you see that succeeding, that's like
So unlearning is not that difficult.
it's not that difficult.
Okay.
I'm not saying it is. It's not that difficult, but I think it is possible and it is practicable.
Okay. Let me ask you one more thing. So the new trend is to make learning more fun
Yes.
through gamification, through
Yes.
animation, through other ways. Is there some way to make unlearning more fun, more exciting? Can the HR department, for example, at an organization, make unlearning, drive unlearning through some techniques that make it fun?
I think you can. I think maybe as you said, gamification of let's say we want to unlearn a certain technology. I'm not naming a technology, but let's say we've been using some software throughout our
They used to.
so we are very convenient, right? I mean,
Correct.
we if I click this button, this happens, this happens, this happens. But I think if you if you want to replace that software, it's going to be slightly difficult. We all know that people are very comfortable, and then but if you are able to slightly maybe slowly migrate. So generally we say that iterate, not migrate.
Oh, okay.
So iteration is something that you keep on iterating the new things, and also iterating ideas, and it's a part of migration. So iteration and then migration,
Leading to migration.
leading to migration.
That sounds interesting. A stepwise approach rather than
yeah.
cutting completely off.
It is not possible. I mean, we have our own mindset, right? Humans are wired that way.
Right.
Everybody is wired that way, and that's something which is giving them success. Now, if I'm using a particular solution and it has been giving me success, but actually the organization wants to drive something else, right? More beyond that.
happens a lot. That happens a lot.
Yeah. So probably you show them more benefits of using that. Incentivize, not money, but incentivize by giving them the larger picture, and how it actually helps them to transform. For example, let's take one aspect of finance is the collection,
Right.
right? One sheet of paper and used to write those numbers and names, to call
Whom to call.
customers. And the manager used to have one sheet and then say that, okay, now let's tally the names and the numbers that you've taken for the day. And then after the end of the day, then you see that, have you met at least 80% of the customers? What happened? That's been happening, that people are very comfortable. But then when you introduce an app, which automatically tells you that, see, Rajaram, this is your 5 customers. It comes in your app. It comes Tableau way. It also tells you what is the distance from your place. It also tells you that how have you collected the last 3-4 payments.
Right.
And then it also gives you a description that this person is available only from 4 to 5 o'clock.
Yes.
Now that technology will take some time, because downloading that software itself, something that people feel that it's a cumbersome activity, right? So if you're enabling people to use that technology, any technology,
Correct.
right? Enablement of usage should be very easy for them to adapt.
That's a good point.
Then I think pen and paper is not the way. And then the other benefit, because as an organization, for us the transformation has a larger effect than the employee, right? Because now you can track where the collection executive, or even for that matter, if you look at anybody's representative, where he's,
Right.
where he's going, and how many
You get the full picture.
you know what is the productivity, and all those metrics that can be measured.
So let me now come to one last point, which is becoming an increasing challenge to every organization, particularly to every financial organization, which is that of fraud. Fraud from outside the organization and fraud within the organization.
Yes.
So as a risk professional, how do you see the risk professional bringing that challenge
Yeah.
under control
Yeah.
to give the management and all stakeholders the comfort and the confidence that this will not blow up the organization?
Yeah. In the banking industry, or in the finance industry, we have seen the delinquency by fraud is much higher than a delinquency in general. Either the customer's repayment capacity is not there, or the intention is not there. I think frauds are contribute more in general.
Okay.
Some of the product it is very large. Some products it may not be. But I think it is all about the process that you follow. I always feel that fraud happens because of 3 things: either your product, or your policy, or your processes. Right?
Okay.
It can be people, because fraud doesn't happen by God's virtue, right? It is done by somebody, so it is people. Then your processes. I mean, how watertight are your processes? Where are the controls that you have? Where are the touch points with the customer? What is the source of information that you get from? where do you get documents from, where do you get all the collateral vetted by. I think that is the process and the product. For example, unsecured loans has a different fraud structure. A secure loan has a different fraud structure. Technology again has evolved. Your though we say MLA, but I think artificial intelligence as a science has really helped in identifying anomalies. Now, all anomalies may not be frauds,
Correct.
right? But all frauds have anomalies,
That makes sense.
right?
Yes.
So, for example, a signature mismatch is an anomaly, but it may not be frauds.
Correct.
But all frauds have in somewhere is the anomaly. I think the trick is to figure out that anomaly in the entire process. It has a scientific angle and it has a human angle. Scientific's
Okay.
more through your neural networks, through your artificial intelligence, through image processing, image detection, data analytics to figure out, the data from CIBIL bureau, the data that you have in your application, how does it correlate? For example, if somebody in your bureau, you have an address of Gujarat, but he's always been staying in Mumbai, so that is a trigger you have. I think that is more of scientific, and then you have human skills that you can't replace. I think both a combination of technology as well as the
Can you
subject matter.
describe the human skills, the key human skills?
So it is more of intuition. Let's say intuition
There is already that technology inside our
inside.
mind.
Yes, that's a sixth sense, right?
Okay.
But that sixth sense is also built by patterns. Understanding
Over
patterns over a
time,
period of time. Understanding pattern, understanding experiences. They've had experiences in certain areas. So obviously, frauds are also evolving, right? I mean, fraudsters innovate,
Fraudsters innovate.
right? So you will have to be one step ahead and counter innovate, to
So
detect
when
the
you
frauds.
talked about all kinds of data analytics and AI ML,
Yeah,
are you saying that like data science could be the foundation for the next generation of
absolutely.
risk professionals?
Absolutely. So I think they always say learn from data, govern by human, right? You use data for understanding and for detection and for I think data is as I said 90% of the data is created in the last 2-3 years. It all depends on how you manage your data, how do you collect the data, how do you use the data, because today's data is your tomorrow's analysis, right?
Correct, correct.
It may not be useful as of today, but that is your roadmap for the
It's a
future.
resource for tomorrow.
It is a resource, yes, yeah. It is a necessity for any organization. Not only banking more because we deal with money, and money is all data, money is all
One is
numbers.
data, correct.
It can be any industry. It can be a manufacturing industry. It can be any other industry, service industry. How calls
Absolutely.
are managed, how customers are serviced. I think it's all about data.
So these days I'm seeing huge amounts of feedback for everything. If I buy a toothbrush, they'll send me a,
Yeah.
a link or something to give feedback.
So you're helping them to build that data.
That's what I'm saying. That data collection is happening.
Correct. Correct.
Lovely, very enriching conversation.
Thank you so much.
Friends, this was a very rich discussion. Thank you for joining us and look forward to seeing you again.